hormone I mentioned earlier is an affiliative hormone, which appears to be, according to Taylor, both a cause and a consequence of social support. When there's a threat, oxytocin is rapidly released, leading people to seek contact with others and thus to bonding. Remember in this quote that the people within whom this oxytocin is being rapidly released happen in almost every case to be women. Furthermore, estrogen, the female hormone, enhances the effects of oxytocin, while androgens, the male hormones, inhibit them. The female oxytocin release doesn't happen only in a crisis. The hormone is released in the company of others, and even in response to something as small as a soothing touch, thereby reinforcing itself and releasing more oxytocin. Calling it an evolutionary heritage that has selected for female friendship, Taylor asserts that women and children have literally stayed alive over the centuries because women form friendships. Here is the kind of mind-bending results that come from these studies. Quote, women get much of their social support from their ties with other women and are only somewhat benefited, both emotionally and in terms of health, from their ties with men. But they do reap many emotional, health-related benefits from their ties with women. I mean, this is not a radical feminist writing. One study on students who remained behind during a December holiday showed that the strongest determinant of how lonely they were was, quote, how much contact they spent each day with women who had remained behind. The more time a student, either man or woman, spent with women, the less lonely he or she was. The amount of time spent with men, for the most part, had no effect on either the male or the female student's mental health. I mean, I just found it kind of shocking. Deliciously shocking, somehow. The scientists concluded rather blandly, I thought, that we all benefit from women's nurturing. Taylor's writing could be situated inside a conversation on the gift economy when she reports studies showing that, quote, women's networks form an inner core of social life that may be barely visible in non-stressful times, but that leap to prominence when life becomes more difficult. So that's what we heard from our African sister last night. She's not only talking about mental health, for instance. When care of infants is shared among females, they grow faster. In a chilling section on chimpanzee studies in the field, she comments on social issues rampant in human society as well. Quote, when strong female bonds are absent, males are often aggressive, even abusive, towards females. She plainly states that men themselves have come to be women's primary predators. She concludes, women who are isolated from other women are in danger. And I thought of the 70s, you know, and the radical feminist intuition smashed the nuclear family. We knew that the isolation of having our own washing machines was killing us. On the brighter side, I recall earlier studies from the 1980s showing that male partners were quite aware of when their female partners were going to ovulate or bleed on account of the subtle emission of pheromones that clued them in. So it's like men orbit the female cycle. This suggests to me the underlying structure of ancient group rituals that revolved around collective female processes of ovulation and menstruation in sync with the moon. Studies have also shown that when a pregnant woman has a committed or close partner, a male partner, during her pregnancy, the levels of testosterone in his system drop by 30%. They stay that way until the infant is 6 weeks old, and after that, they go back to normal. So if the social organization revolves around pregnant women at the center, as it does in a matriarchal society, men in general are biologically calmed and made more nurturing by the simple effects of being in close proximity with the women. The mother's brother in a matriarchal household would certainly receive this benefit, reminding us that it is not necessary for the committed male to be the biological father. We regulate, this is a quote from Taylor, We regulate one another's biology without even realizing it, says Taylor. Clearly, science itself can be used to affirm and clarify the theories and hypotheses of those of us doing research into the gift economy and matriarchal studies. And I would like to invite my brilliant student, former student, Polly, up. Polly, where are you? To sing my favorite of all of her songs, the Blood Song.
I just held oxytocin released for that hug and touch. Calmer now.
Yeah, me too.
This song is comes out of my research into menstrual consciousness, lunar consciousness, global economics, and the universal sexual bias. And if anyone's interested, I have musical scores. So if you want to take one, if you know how to read music or know someone you want to teach this song to. So quite a song of inquiry too. How come when they say man, they mean man, woman, child? How come when they say man, they mean all people? How come they show the blood of Christ, the blood of war, the blood from the sliced incision? Surgery on TV every night. Well, how come they show the blood of sport? It's all the same as blood from violent video games. Movies they love to see, Hollywood stars in a bloody fight. Well, how come they drink the blood of life as red wine by the bloody meat from the butcher's vine? It's all accepted, all okay, except the blood they cannot say, except the blood you cannot say, except the blood you cannot speak, except that blood may sometimes leak. Well, the only blood they cannot show is the blood that freely, freely flows from ladies, sisters, women, girls, and me. No cut, no scrape, no knife, no gun, no wound. No cut, no scrape, no knife, no gun, no wound. No cut, no scrape, no knife, no gun, no wound. Well, it flowed before hunting, it flowed before time. Our blood revealed the gift that is the human mind. Now it's bloodshed for profit. Is our blood like gold? They created a blood debt in our families. Our souls. They advertise, they televise the violence and the lies, the violence, the lies. And it's all accepted, all okay, except the blood they cannot say, except the blood you cannot say, except the blood you cannot speak, except that blood may sometimes leak. Well, the only blood they cannot show is the blood that freely, freely flows from ladies, ladies, sisters, women, girls, and me. It's how we came to be all menstrual lunar synchrony. It's how we came to be all metaformic theory. No cut, no scrape, no knife, no gun, no wound. No cut, no scrape, no knife, no gun, no wound. No cut, no scrape, no knife, no gun, no wound. It's how we came to be all. It's how we came to be. It's how we came to be all. It's how we came to be. It's how we came to be all. It's how we came to be. It's how we came to be all. It's how we came to be. Thank you.